camera. Hello again. I've never done this. I'll let a couple people pop in. I've never done 2 scopes in a row. I didn't have been wanting to do this all week, and I just knew if I did the homeschool happy hour and then did this right away, I'd get it done, because I'd been promising, hey Andy, I'd been promising a wood burning tip scope. Yay! I don't know if books bloom with Jan Bloom. Hey Allison. I don't know if anything here is going to be mind-blowing or not, but the least that I hope to do is to encourage everyone to try a handicraft, you know. And this is definitely a fun one, especially if you have slightly older children, because it is you know, can be a dangerous tool. But so you have to use your own wisdom on that. You know your own child. But yes, and it's great for moms. It's really, really good for the children to see the moms enjoying handicraft hobbies as well, because it will inspire them. And it just does so much for me, for myself, to be able to create. Oh, maybe, Allison. I haven't used a curling iron in like 10 years. But maybe, hopefully curling irons don't get this hot. Hey there, Ingrid. Yeah, I hope curling irons don't get this. Yes, touch and get burnt, exactly. And you know, even the iron, even the regular iron. So if they've got that concept down, touch and get burnt. I also have another hot handicraft that is good for children to do with crayon melting. So I'll do it. I was thinking about doing a scope on that. I posted it on Instagram last year or something, and a lot of people were asking about it, and I thought that would be a fun demo scope with the children. No, let's don't. Yes, and the glue guns have the cool melt, and they oh, I don't know anything about the settings, so I guess you just need to go make sure the little bell on my name on my profile, you've got it, and it's done. Ingrid, raising, yeah, there you go. Anyway, just in case any of you didn't see me 2 minutes ago, yes, our little schoolhouse. Yes, I was trying to remember your name, Jamie, because of the scopes and how you said that my wool thing was funny. I'm not really embarrassed about that. I love burning wool. I was just embarrassed that you said I was famous. That was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, my name is Hilda Rebecca, for anybody that wasn't here 5 minutes ago, and I'm on Instagram a lot, and yeah, oh, sorry. I'm going to try to stick to the point. I'm not going to be as rushed this time, so if you get tired of watching, pop out and watch the replay. Won't hurt my feelings at all. I just want to share this with you, and I want to see, if you're on Instagram, I want to see the stuff you would burn after this. So there's a challenge. You've just got to go in and block them individually. Just block the nasty people. You click on their profile, then the little gear button that's up there, click on that, and it'll have an option to block. Oh yeah, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. I feel like I need to wash my eyeballs out with soap after I block people, but you need to do it. Keep on blocking people. You have the option. Yes, that's why I only do, yeah, I was thinking about taking mine off and not sending it to Twitter anymore, because I never use my Twitter at all. I just used it to sign up to this, so I think I'm going to stop that. You've just got to go to that little gear, and it'll give you the option to block the user, and you can do it. And you can even block followers of your followers, and I've done that before. And knock on wood, praise Jesus, I haven't had any trolls yet. And I hope I never have an experience like you had the other day, Allison. That was crazy. Crazy. Yeah. Anyway, that's crazy. Yes, check every day. It takes literally less than 60 seconds to, yeah, it was out of control. I think the second time when you said no creepers, Allison, it was like they were just being, I don't really think it's a person. Maybe it's a computer. I don't know. But it was ridiculous. It was, yeah. It was like they were fighting. They were getting you. I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like you think they could think of something original to type other than what they were typing too. It's like, watch our scopes and learn how to use your brain. Yeah, something like that. I don't know how it all works, but I do know how to block them, and that's awesome. So anyway, look on Instagram if you want to see some of the other projects I've done. It's fine. That topic needs to be addressed. There you go. See how easy that was. Joop. That was more interesting what he said than what they were saying to you the other day. It was almost a whole sentence. Okay, I don't know anything about Android. I am a yes, it was. Even though it was improper grammar. It was the little letters instead of words. Okay, so do me a favor, guys, since I've had my first troll, if I'm talking about wood burning and not noticing, like put up exclamation mark points or something to make sure I don't miss any, okay? So, now here to wood burning. Is that person... I'm just going to block them, and I apologize if that wasn't a, yes. Burn. Okay, so I don't know if that person was being nice or just being crazy, but I don't care. I'd rather block somebody than take a chance. So I've got try to stay on task here. Oh, good. It was a troll or it was a homeschool mom. Hope I didn't block a homeschool mom. Anyway, first I'll talk about, oh good, yay, thank you for checking on that. First I'll talk about my tools. I ordered mine off Amazon. I ordered 2 wood burning tools. This is the first one. Walnut Hollow Creative Versatile. Okay, so it was a little bit more expensive. I think I got mine a little bit cheaper than that because it fluctuates in sale and it has all these, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna get this one for me because it's more expensive and it has the dial and it'd be better and I like this more. Okay, this one, first of all, I'm not good enough to know how to use the low and high temperatures for shading. If you look at YouTube videos, there's people that do this stuff that are like amazing artists, and I'm not there. I mean, it's amazing. They do a wood burning thing that looks like a photograph. No, that's not me. But that's this tool right here, and what we did was we duct taped the dial to keep it on high because this rolls very easily and it kept on getting cold and we can't burn it with a cold tool. So, I mean, if you find this one on, yes, hotter the better, absolutely. Now, unless you know how to do all the artistic shade or anything like that. So if you're very artistic and you think you might learn how to do all the shading and all the crazy stuff, this tool might be the one for you because it is adjustable. But it doesn't get as hot as the cheap one. Let me show you the cheap one that I bought. I thought, well, I'm going to get a cheap one so my boys can do it with me, or, So this is the cheaper one. And they also have these at, like, your craft stores, and you can use your 40% off. But it's, from Amazon, 10, 11 bucks. But the thing I like about this one, the thing I like about this one is the tip. This tip that comes with the cheap one is almost like using a pencil. So it's very easy to control. So I like the, my children are almost grown. They range from 28 to 14. But oh my goodness. I think you can get replacement tips, but it's like 6 or 7 bucks. You probably can bend them back, Allison. Get a tool and bend them back. They were asking about the age of my children, but I am, yeah, maybe they press too hard, because that's something I started doing, and I realized let the heat do the work a lot of times. Let the heat of the gun do the work. Thank you. But I'm co-schooling my grandchildren too, so we have lots of ages here, from 1, 7, 8, and then my 14-year-old, my 19-year-old are still homeschooling. So this is another tip. It's a round tip, and it does like a fat line. And the tip with this one is when you press it down, when you're wood burning, go ahead and have your hand be moving. Like, go in a moving thing, because if you just do and try to burn, you're going to have a dot. It's going to do a dot. So go ahead and have your hand in motion when you put this one down, and it'll decrease the amount of dots that you're going to have. So I like this one when doing script, like in writing in cursive or whatever. Anyway, this one is the one, you can make holes on purpose. This is great for making dots on purpose. This is the one, they call this the universal tip. And I use this a lot, and when I do shading, because I've done a little bit, I don't have an example. Well, I have one example, but I like to see it smoke. I like the burning too. But you can use the side of it for, this is great handicraft skill, because this is something they can carry into adulthood. And that's what I try to think about when I come up with stuff to do. But you can use this for shading. You can do the straight lines. You can use the tip. So this is a universal one. I use this one a lot. Yes, but some people do like to run a fan. It's been the winter time, so I've had we live in a very old house, and this part of the house, it's colder because the upstairs is where the upstairs goes, and all the heat goes upstairs. So we've been running a heater so it circulates the air, but I am going to bring a little fan. And this, yes, I am. I'm going to show some examples. Then you can get little stamps. The Walnut Hollow, the same company, has sets. The only one I have is the heart, but there's the alphabet and the numbers, and I've used those, but I'm letting a friend use them, so I don't have them. Yes, Allison, this one, I personally don't like the stamps as much, because you've got to like roll it, and I'm too much, OCD, have to have it look exactly right type person, and I'd rather just draw the letter. But the kids would love it, because like, especially if your son likes to press, because the more you press, the darker it gets. And what you can do, Allison, if they get it too dark, just take some sandpaper and sand over it. Yeah, very good for the kids. Just sand over it if they get it too dark, and that will lighten it up, like if one edge of the letter gets darker. But look, this one's bent. I don't know if you can tell. It's bent. Yeah, see? Yes. Do they draw it first? I always draw it first, so they might want to do that. That's what I want to show you for kids. Someone asked about, so this is just a little can of tips. I even found another wood burner at a flea market, and this was with it. I haven't used it yet. No, you don't need a fire extinguisher. I guess. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I would start one child at a time unless they've had, I would have a lot of help, because it is unless it was older children, like I'm guessing 12 or 13 and older, because in a co-op, if I was responsible for a lot of children, I would be very nervous about them getting burnt. Definitely do it one-on-one with your own children and see how you like it first. But this, what I did, Allison, I let Kaylee and Carter Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to look at my notes. Let's see. Okay, so, yeah. Put some butter on that burn and just, maybe they won't do it again. For wood, you can go to Michael's, you can go to the store, you can even order them on Amazon, you can go buy some wood. But I have a real problem with spending money on something I can find in the yard or somebody can give me. Yes, I saw a tree branch. Yeah, let me go get that. So, what I did when I first started was I told my husband, like for a couple weeks, I need some wood circles, honey. Give me some wood circles. Can you get me some wood circles? Just find me some wood and cut me some circles. So he went into the back of our yard near the greenhouse and where, you know, junk is, and there was a young tree that he wanted to cut down, and it has the most amazing bark. Oh, I'd love to get my hands on some driftwood. The amazing bark. See how big and thick it is? He didn't save the leaves of this tree. I have no idea what kind of tree it is, and I have been trying to identify it based on just the wood grain and the bark, and it is so hard, but I love it because it's stretching my brain. So yes, they do so many things. Well, he likes to use his power tools. So, okay, so what you do, if you get a piece of wood that you want to use, and you slice it, get somebody to slice it, or you slice it. If you know how to use those power tools, go ahead. But unless the piece of wood has set out and dried on its own, you're going to need to dry it out. You're going to need to help dry it out, because if you just set these pieces of wood out, yeah, a little nature study. If you just set these pieces of wood out, they're going to crack when they dry and the moisture gets out of it. So, yes. So what we do is we put them in the oven, 200 degrees for an hour or more. Now my oven is full of sap, and I don't know how I'm going to get that out, but I'll figure that out later. But it was certain trees. It wasn't this one. I think it was a certain tree that we put in there. I found it on the internet. Yeah. Oh yeah, it smells good. But I don't care. I mean, yes, so that really, really works. I've been wanting to find like a dehydrator at the thrift store or something and see if that would help. Some of them we put in rice afterwards, and it helps them dry more. Anyway, I don't know if they just spelled something wrong. But anyway, this was the first wood circles that I had, and I loved it, and I don't have many left, and so I'm trying to save these. These are some of my favorite ones. Okay, if they come up again, I'll try to block it, because I was curious about that one. Okay? Anyway, so let me see. Let me show you. Okay, so we did have a problem. That has worked. This is a Bradford pear, one of the best types of tree. I don't know if y'all have, you can see the oven lines from my oven on there, but you can sand that off. But we're going to do our wood burning on this side of this one. And sometimes they'll slightly bend, and we've thought about like setting bricks on top of it to keep it flatter. Sometimes they'll, it's an ornamental tree. It's crazy everywhere. People plant it all the time, and it's really nice because it does all the seasons. Like there's no leaves, and there's buds, and there's green leaves, and there's beautiful colors, different colors of leaves. So it's a nice tree to watch change through the season. But the thing is, people don't trim these trees out. They're the kind you've got to trim out in the middle, and limbs are falling all the time off of these Bradford pears. Is such a common tree that we see all the time around here for ornament, ornamental tree. And so this has been one of the most fun ones to burn on. And this, I don't know what all these are, but you can tell the different grains. Like this one didn't need to be sanded. This one had dried out on its own. And when he cut it, we didn't need to burn it. It's just, isn't that beautiful? But we got a river birch, and that stuff is so moist. And then you start learning about the tree, and it's a water sucker. We barely got we barely got the river birch dry. So it depends on what kind of tree. Some trees are more moist, some trees have more sap, and they will take longer to dry or crack. So, but have fun looking for trees, or just go buy some wood if you don't want to, or look at thrift stores. I found mess at the thrift stores. The box that I'm keeping my stuff in is just a wooden box that I got at the thrift store. And I'm going to decorate that thing up. I'm going to wood burn that up. Now, find you a practice block. This is an old cutting board from the thrift store. Get a scrap piece of block from somewhere and sand it down really, really good, because if you don't, hey honey, I'm giving my wood burning scope. You want to say hey? Marco's home. It's my husband. He's the one that helps me, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do all this fun stuff I do, because he cuts my wood and finds my wood and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, hey there. So this is my practice. There we go. Took care of that. Yay! Okay. Anyway, this is an old butcher block cutting board, and I have wood burnt all over this, and then my husband sanded it down, and now I'm covering it again. So like, to see if the thing is hot, I just, is that hot yet? And this is the letters that we were practicing stamping, so get a practice block to play with. Okay, so, and I talked about thrift store stuff. Okay, so some of the stuff I did. Allison, your children, encourage them, they may do it already, but tell them to draw on the wood before they burn. So today, my grandchildren drew, and I went over with the wood burner. Hey, Jenny. I went over with the wood burner and exactly traced their handwriting. Yes, I told them that. I was like, because they can make like mosquito drawings that are so tiny it looks like a mosquito drew it. And I'm like, now, I'm going to have to trace over this. Don't make it too small. So they did pretty good. Yes, it's very hard to do little lines. But this tip right here was on the red one, the more expensive one, this pointy tip. So that's really, really good for doing small lines. It's even smaller than this pencil one. So you may want to order a pack of tips, new tips, just Allison. So anyway, that's an idea. And then they signed their name on the back, and I did it with wood burning. So I'm just gonna, have these on the coffee table. So that's something fun to do, a little start exercise. Okay, now one of the biggest tips, and I share this on my Instagram. These things get hot, even though this has a rubber thing to hold on to. It gets hot, so I got a piece of my felted wool. You can see my wonky stitches. And I told you guys, felted wool is just, this was a huge sweater I got at the thrift store, and I accidentally put it in the dryer, and it came out small enough for a 1-year-old to wear. It's ridiculous, and I love that sweater. Anyway, but it was great because I have all this felted wool now, and it's so thick, so my hand does not get hot. So this is like my favorite tip. Yeah. It was a nice long one that I could wear around the house, and I ruined it. So, okay. So your tools, you need to make sure you have your pencil and eraser, because when I started, and a lot of times all I do is draw what I want to do. I just draw it by hand. I look at a picture and I draw it by hand. So this was a butterfly I did a while back, and I just looked, this was a picture off Pinterest. And I just looked at it and I just drew it with the pencil and just wood burned over it. But here on this, I used the side of the thing to shade. Yeah, and like if you see it up close, there's mistakes, but it's fine. And this was a little bent, but I want to try to do some that look more real, like a set of like the monarch and the swallowtail and stuff like that, just to have in our nature center. So that's just drawing it and wood burning it. And then I'm getting ahead of myself, but I go ahead and tell you, like you see how white this one is? I haven't done anything on it. I don't know if any of you use bamboo for your cutting boards or what have you, but I use this mineral oil on my bamboo cutting boards to give it moisture. And so I cover my discs when I get done with them to just sort of coat them. Now, if you're doing a coaster or something like that, you're going to want to use a polyurethane or stain. I think my husband has something called Danish oil that we use on the ones that we make for coaster because it will keep the water from getting into the wood from the drink that you put down. So coat your stuff with this mineral oil and it'll give it that pretty look. That's what I did. See, let me show you the difference. So this is Carter's that I did. And let me show you what it looks like after the mineral oil. And like I said, if y'all get tired of watching this and you're interested, just watch the replay. It'll be on catch. I know I'm going a long time. So there it is. And then I just have some mineral oil. And it just makes it look a little bit more rich, and it protects it and protects the wood and protects their work. See, isn't that pretty? So that's all we do. So that's a fun little tip, because sometimes it's just dry and, you know. So there's that with mineral, nice and shiny. Okay, so have your pencil and eraser. If you want to draw on it, you can just erase it. And have you some pliers or some needle nose pliers with the rubber grip, because you're not going to want to wait until the wood burner is cooled down to change the tip. So this is really hot, so I just go in there and take it off and put another one on. I guess that's sort of a no-brainer. Oh, I wanted to show you the setup. When I first started wood burning, my tools kept on like sliding off the table. And I have all wood floors. And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to burn the floors. But my friend, Miss Judy, who I wood burn with, I've got this old pie plate because it's got the ridge. This was out in the yard. This was one of the children's plates from their nature center, and I stole it. And the wood burners come with these little racks, and we just duct taped it down. So we do it like that. You see how that works? So this was Miss Judy's idea. Yeah, this one, I can't claim this one. I introduced her to this, and the next day she's like, get some duct tape. And I was like, okay, yeah, yeah. So there you go. So, and I posted on my Instagram, which is the same as my name here, some leaves that I did for my best friend for her nature center. And what I did for those is I just drew the outline of the leaves and then I shaded them in. It took me a long time, but for my nature center I didn't want to take that much time, so I drew, this is from a red maple tree. Yes, I wish I had made me some at the same time, but I love looking at the pictures. I will one day, I'll make me some, but for them, I wanted them to see the veins, because part of identifying the tree is to know the veins. And this is like, I just went around the outside and just chicka, you know, it's not like, I just wanted to get the basic idea. Now this is the river birch, the same thing. And our Bradford pear, I mean, how boring is that leaf? But now they've got this wood and they see that leaf. And so I'm going to do that for some of the other ones for their nature center. So Carter loves them. Anyway, so that's like for school. Oh, I have another one. Yeah, the leaf matches the wood. So eventually, you know, I'll have more. I have a black walnut in there. I've got to do that and a crepe myrtle one, but that's the only ones I have identified, because if you don't look at the leaves, it's very hard to identify the tree with just the bark. Very hard. This is one of I did this for Valentine's. And the kids could do this too. They could just do like a quote or something, but this is the little thing I did for a Valentine garland. And you can see, I just rolled it around. And this bird, I just found this picture on Pinterest and just drew it by hand. And you can see how bumpy it is because the wood's bumpy. You know, it's just rustic. So that's, and how I did that was I hot glued these clips. I use these clips everywhere on the back. So that's a fun way to make a bunting. And I posted on my, it's hanging up so I didn't take it down, one I did that says, Today I choose joy, is one I made for up there. So that's something that I did. And I think the last thing I want to show you is the newest thing that I'm doing. And I was inspired by Mary, who lives here in North Carolina, Mary Not Before 7. You can find her. And she was showing how she put, it was real late before she went on her trip to Florida, how she puts a quote or paints on canvas. And I was watching it and I was like, oh my goodness, why didn't I think about that? You know, it's just like carbon paper, and I used to do stuff like that all the time. But what she did was she had some graphite paper, and I got this on Amazon too. She had some graphite paper and she printed up what she wanted to do, and she just traced it, and this puts the image onto her canvas. So I said, well, why can't that work on wood? And it does. So I go and I'm printing up all this stuff on the internet that looks cute to me, all this woodsy nature stuff. Yes, what would we do without Amazon? Oh my goodness. I don't know. We'd spend money going to the shopping stores and it'd take forever instead of 2 seconds, Allison. That's what it would do. So I love this quote from Charlotte Mason. I have a t-shirt with it on it. And so I found, I'm not going to show you the front yet, I found this piece of wood at the thrift store for 49 cents. And on the front of it, it had this really ugly decoupage picture of a deer, and it was falling apart. So I gave it to my son, my 14-year-old, and I said, can you get this paper off of here? He said, yeah, Mom, I'll sand it off for you. So I printed this up. This is just some regular font from my computer. I don't even remember what font it is. So I printed off this quote, and I got this graphite paper. You can probably see, yeah, you can see where I traced it. So you put the graphite paper down on the wood, and then you put this right here and you tape it. It was hard to get it positioned right, but I just sort of guessed. And then I bought this from Amazon. It's a stylus, and I bought one that has a little tip and a bigger tip. I have the paper on that. Let me show you. This right here. So I bought that, and then all you do is, look, let me show you. All you do is just go over it. I don't know. Let me do it down here because it's hard to do it backwards. Here. I'll just do a like that. And let's see. Do you see? It just comes right on whatever you draw. Please Instagram a picture of my supplies. Yeah, well, I have random things. Okay, so I'm so excited about this because I started on this tonight. So I did this. So this is all wood burned. And then I was like, well, I need some decoration on the side. So I found this picture on Instagram and taped it on there. And like, now I'm not going to obviously be able to do the flowers on top of here. I'm going to have to, you know, hand do some flowers so it doesn't cover up the, yes. So this is the graphite tracing right here. So basically it's penciling. And then I just go over it with wood burn. Now I have to refer to this a little bit because some of it gets wonky. Yeah, but it was, Mary on Not Before 7 did it with the canvas, and I said, why can't I do that with wood burning? So this is probably a little bit more difficult unless you have a child who's but you can find simple stuff. Some of the stuff I found was like I thought this little birdie right here with thicker, bolder lines would be fun to do on something. Anyway, you can find anything. You can find anything on the internet. I just Google searched images. That's all I did, and I hope there's no copyright infringement or anything because I'm changing it a little bit. I'm just using it for ideas. But I just Google search images. That's all I did. Now my friend Miss Judy, we had some circles, and she had these sticks, and she had the ingenious idea to drill a hole in there and put these little sticks in there and make things to stick in people's flowers. You know, like decoration in their flowers. Like you have a little bloom where you're planted or a butterfly or something in the flowers. But I'm looking at it and I was like, I want something really cool in my flower. What can I do? What can I do? Yeah. Well, garden ID tags, I've seen where they take just a stick from a yard and shave some of the bark off, Allison, and then just burn in their tomatoes, cucumbers. You look on Pinterest for ideas for wood burning, and it'll blow your mind away. So I decided that on my little plant thing, I wanted a hobbit hole. A little bit overzealous. I don't know if I'll be able to pull this off or not, but I wanted a hobbit hole. So I did the same thing with the graphite paper, and I started burning my hobbit hole. Isn't that the most adorable thing in the world? So I'm gonna have a hobbit hole in my planter by my teacher desk. So yeah, I was like, oh, do I want a fairy? Do I want a butterfly? And then I was like, nope, this is a circle. I want a hobbit hole. So you know, and this little one comes in handy with detail stuff, and you know, I'm basically just copying it. I could not come up with this on my own. I am copying what I see. I'm not for the little lines. Well, some of that right there is still graphite, but this is the tip I used that came with the more expensive one for the littlest lines. And then this is my next, the wood burning portion. It just depends on how, I don't know. I don't really know how long it takes. I'm trying to look to see if there's, oh, here, this is something I messed up on. That thing I did, I chose joy. Yeah, how detailed it is. And then I decided to do I choose joy. So, I need my, hey, Alex, or Daniel. I'm going to see if one of them can come hold the camera. Can one of you hold this for me for a minute? Yeah, okay. I'm just going to, here. Hold on, I got to flip it, honey. Yeah. Okay. So, just going to, can you see this? Like, show the difference. Let's see, I'll do the letter A. So it's very light, and then you just go in and darken it up, but just keep it moving. And it's like, I'm not pressing down. Like if you press down, whoop, it's going to do that. But I'm just letting it roll against the wood and darkening it until it gets as dark as I want it. Plus this one, let me see, the back hasn't had mineral oil on it, so let's see if that does a difference. Oh yeah, it's much darker. What are they saying? Yeah, that's a lot of what your boys do. So, you see I can fill it in. And then this one's even tinier. Like you can do really like shading. And see, I'm pressing down now and see how it's making a longer. But you see the grains in the wood? like if I were to just see when you just try to take it across, you see how it does the bumps, and I'm trying to press. So the trick is to just slowly rub it on, you know, let the heat do its work. I'm barely putting any pressure on it right now and going over all the grooves. So that's with the skinny one. And then you can use the side of this for shading too. Let me see. Whoop, you got to get it at the right angle. Whoop, see, that's an accident right there. This one's not good for shading. Oh, and someone I saw, but I'm not good at it, says doing a lot of circles like this is good for shading too. You see how that's just, like if you just want to color in a flower or something. So that's fun. All right, so that's basically, let me flip this back around. That's basically all of the tips I have, and I think that's all the tips I have. But, oh, sandpaper. I did tell you that if you make a mistake, you can use sandpaper. So, hope anybody that watches this is encouraged to try any handicraft, even if it's not wood burning, and use the graphite paper idea for canvases, like Mary said, and wood. You know, I'm sure if people start thinking about it, we'll be using graphite paper to transfer stuff on everything. Yes, I got that at Amazon too, Allison. Right there. Yeah, the set of stamps is the Walnut Hollow brand. It's like, I think it was $14 for the alphabet, and like $7 to $10 for the numbers. Yeah, so I bought this stuff just a little, like first I bought the wood burners, and then I just, that's really, oh, I bought the letter stamps for my friend. And then the next thing I bought was so I really haven't, like the graphite paper will be able to, you'll use it for a long time. And yeah, I'm almost done, sweetie. And then this, I mean, you can use this for a lot of other projects. I used to have one for my scrapbooking stuff, but I've got rid of it. But there's other things you can use a stylus for. The wood burners are non-consumable, so everything you do is an investment. It's not stuff that's gonna get used and get gone. So anyway, I'm going to sign off now, and I'm so glad I was able to share these tips with you guys finally. I think I'm going to do a scope. Allison, I was thinking on why handicrafts. Like, I know why I do handicrafts and why they're so important to me, but I'm going to talk, I think I'm going to do a scope about, you know, why handicrafts are so important to me and how they line up with the CM, you know, the Charlotte Mason method or philosophy, and why Charlotte Mason said to do handicrafts. So it took me a while to really understand that as the years went on, and the more I understood, the more excited I got about the importance of handicrafts. So anyway, I'm going to sign off, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this and are inspired. And please, if you find me on Instagram, and if you're on here, message me so I'll know that you watched this and I can follow you, and I want to see what you guys have created or what you're going to create. Allison, you ought to share some of the stuff your children do, and I'm going to make my boys do something too. They'll be like, oh mom, oh, ornaments. Yes, we made a couple. I made a couple. That's when I first got started in this, was at Christmas. Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to scroll back through. I think I might have missed that. But coasters, cool. Did you post that too? I'll have to go back and look. Yeah, it may take a while to scroll. Well, that's me. I wish there was an easier way to search your own feed on Instagram. But other than that, I love Instagram. So I did post a few, I did post a few of the Christmas ornaments that we did. The first thing I ever wood burnt was a pig. It was a pig. It was the shape of a pig. Yes, a month or a year tab. I just scroll. It's like, oh yeah, that's Thanksgiving. Go back. Scroll. So it's hard to do. But I'll scroll back and look at your Christmas ones and see if I can find it. Anyway, you guys have a great evening and a great rest of the week, and I'll probably see some of you guys on Scope tomorrow. I'm going to sign off and bye-bye, everyone.